What's going on, film fans? Thomas L here. In there's this week is the new R-rated puppet comedy, The Happy Time Murders, which I am so much looking forward to check out. I mean, the trailers for that movie looks hysterical. You know, I'm actually a big fan of Melissa McCarthy, by the way. So that's why this video is pretty much dedicated to her. Anyway, I'd say I count down my top 10 favorite Melissa McCarthy movies. Like, I know she gets crap on for playing the same type of character over and over and on, but I think she does it well. What should say? I'm a McCartney fan. Anyway, here is my top 10 favorite Melissa McCartney films. At number 10 will be Tammy. I know lots of people hate this film. Like, it has like a 4.9 out of 10 score on IMDb. It has like a really low score on Rotten Tomatoes. And it's also directed by Melissa McCarthy's husband. This was Ben Falcone. This was like the first film that he directed her in. I gotta say, I really found this film to be pretty funny. I mean, it wasn't like as great as her other films that's on this list, but I found it pretty enjoyable. And I really like the chemistry between Melissa McCarthy and Susan Sarandon. I still found it weird that Allison Jennings played Melissa McCarthy's mother. Like, Allison Jennings is a few years older than Melissa McCarthy, so I still find that a little weird. I mean, it also has a pretty good supporting cast. Kathy Bates, Dan Aykroyd was in this, Mark Duplass, Gary Cole, Nat Faxon, Toni Collette, Sandra Oh. I really dug the cast in this, and I'm for one who I kind of like the work that Ben Falcone has done. His film, like, he's not the greatest director of all time. Like, his films aren't great, but I find them pretty enjoyable to watch. So Tammy will actually be number 10. At number 9, speaking of Ben Falcone, will be a recent film, and that is Life of the Party, which stars Melissa McCarthy, who goes back to college and stuff. Kind of like that night school film, instead of high school. She goes back to college and all. But anyway, this is actually more. This kind of felt more like a back to school reboot. I mean, I found this film to be really funny, and I found this to be quite charming. Melissa McCarthy was pretty funny in this. I really like the one who played like McCartney's daughter in this, who's also on that show Animal Kingdom. You also got Maya Rudolph, who, by the way, is also in Happy Time Murders, which comes out Friday, and she's also in another Melissa McCarthy film that I'll talk about here in a bit. I'll talk, a little later, I meant to say. Yeah, I mean, the one who plays like the sorority sisters was all pretty funny as well. And also, I definitely found this film to be funny. Like, if you're a McCartney fan, I think you'll probably appreciate Life of the Party. I still think it would have been funnier if it was rated R, to be honest with you, but it was still pretty good. And there's also a pretty cool cameo that I'm not gonna spoil here. At number 8 is actually more of a smaller role, not like a big role, and that will be her role in This Is 40. Pretty much plays like a mother in this. And This Is 40 is actually like a spin-off to Knocked Up, and this stars like Paul Rudd, Leslie Mann, Judd Apatow, and Leslie Mann's daughters are in this. Like, you also got the likes of John Lithgow, Albert Brooks is in this. Yeah, the list goes on. It's a pretty cool supporting cast now. I found this movie to be really funny and charming, and it begs the question of what, because it's about like Leslie Mann's character who finds out she's 40 and she gotta try to live like wants to like live her life in her 40s and stuff. It's a really funny flick. It's also more charming than Knocked Up is. To be honest, I even probably like this movie slightly more than Knocked Up. I know that's a little unpopular to say, but I found it to be really good. If you haven't seen This Is 40, check it out. I think you'll probably enjoy it. At number 7 will be Saint Vincent, which came out in, I believe, 2004, I think, and it starred the likes of Bill Murray, Jaden Lieberhart, who of course went on to star in the It remake. You also got Naomi Watts. Terrence Howard is in this. Cool cast. And it's actually not a slapstick comedy as you're used to seeing Melissa McCarthy in. You know, she could do a show that has like dramatic chops. I mean, she's in that new movie. Can You Ever Forgive Me? And I've been seeing the trails for that. Oh my god! Just from the trails, I think Melissa McCarthy should get an Oscar nomination just from those trails alone from that movie. But anyway, back to this film. This wasn't like a serious drama or anything. It was more like a dramedy. Bill Murray, of course, is babysitting Melissa McCartney's kid, and Bill Murray and her kid, have like a bonding. And I found the chemistry between Bill Murray and Jaden Lieberhart worked really well in this. Of course, this was Jaden's like breakout role as well. And Melissa McCartney gave a really good, solid performance. Totally different role that I've ever seen her in. But and I've also found the film to be slightly underrated. Like, I don't really hear many people talking about it as they should. But if you have not checked out Saint Vincent, give it a go. It's a really nice little indie flick. At number 6, this is gonna be a controversial one, and that will be Ghostbusters. I'm saying right now, I enjoyed the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot. I mean, it wasn't like great, it wasn't as good as the original, but I found it to be really enjoyable. And I also really liked the chemistry between the leads, which was Melissa McCartney, along with Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones. Almost dead man. Anyway, Chris Hemsworth was hysterical in this. Of course, there's a few cameos that if you have not seen the remake, I'm not going to really spoil the cameos in this, and it's also directed by Paul Feig, who of course directed Melissa McCartney and plenty other stuff that I'm going to be talking about here in a bit. But definitely, I really had fun with that Ghostbusters film. And if Sony announced that they greenlit a sequel to this, I'm all for it. Like, I'm down to see another follow up to this Ghostbusters. Sadly, it didn't do so well, but hopefully they'll see about maybe still doing a sequel. Like, take a risk. Anyway, at number 5 will be another Ben Falcone directed film, and that will be The Boss. This movie cracked me up. Like, it, just like Ghostbusters, this was also released 2016. Yeah, 16. Melissa McCartney was really funny in this. Like, she plays like this rich lady named Michelle Darnell who gets arrested, and then she lives with Kristen Bell's character, and they also like run end up to make money. They decide to run like a bake sale. It's a funny flick. Like, she had good chemistry with Kristen Bell. The one play like the little daughter. She was pretty charming in this. You also had like the likes of Kathy Bates. I really loved her part in this. Peter Dinklage was in this. The critics really did not like The Boss at all, and I think Melissa McCarthy probably got like a Razzie nomination for this, or was it Tammy? I can't remember which one she got like a Razzie nomination for, but I really dug The Boss. If you haven't had a chance to check out The Boss, I say give it a go. Especially if you're Melissa McCarthy. At number 4 will be the 2013 comedy Identity Theft, where Melissa McCartney pretty much takes Jason Bateman's identity. This movie was also downright hysterical. I mean, I find it to be pretty underrated. Like I think a whole lot of people really talk about it, but I think you should check it out. I mean, I really like the chemistry between Jason Bateman and Melissa McCartney. You also had Amanda Peet in this. Like Identity Death was directed by Seth Gordon, who of course recently directed the Baywatch remake. Like the film also had the likes of John Cho, John Favreau, Morris Chestnut, T.I., Eric Stonestreet. Some pretty good supporting castmates to back them up. Definitely, if you have not seen Identity, give it a go. I think you'll probably get kicked out of it. At number 3 will be the spy comedy, well, Spy, which was also directed by Paul Feig and was like a female comedy version of James Bond. Spy is hysterical. Like even non-Melissa McCarthy fans actually enjoyed this flick. Yeah, and it also showed how much of a funny guy Jason Statham could be, because he was really hysterical. Like this is probably Jason Statham was the funniest part of the whole movie. Even though Melissa McCarthy was pretty funny too. I mean, you also got Rose Byrne. She was pretty funny in this. Allison Janney. Pretty cool cast as well. If you have not had a chance to check out Spy, give it a go. I also remember hearing rumors about a sequel to Spy, which I hope they get off the ground because I really dug Spy. Definitely check out Spy if you haven't. It's a really fun and funny flick. At number 2 will be pretty much Melissa McCarthy's breakout role, and that will be Bridesmaids, which was also directed by Paul Feig, who of course went on to direct Melissa McCarthy and the other films I listed. I love Bridesmaids. I mean, I really like the chemistry between Melissa McCarthy and the females that included, of course, Kristen Wiig, Wendy McClellan-Covey before she was in Good Luck Goldbergs. Rose Byrne, Maya Rudolph, who's also in Happy Time Murders, and she was also just in Life of the Party with Melissa McCarthy. She's hysterical in this. You also got the likes of Chris O'Dowd, and I mean, was pretty much the female Hangover if you look at it. And I found it to be really funny. It was really charming, like lots of funny scenes. I mean, come on, that bathroom scene, and come on, that's seriously a downright hysterical scene. And I mean, the one with shitting on the street. I mean, how could you top that? Like, check out Bridesmaids. It's crazy that in 2021, Bridesmaids will end up being 10 years old. Holy cow. But anyway, Bridesmaids is awesome. I'll be more down. Instead of a sequel, I really want a spin-off featuring just Melissa McCarthy's character. Like, have her and maybe Ben Falcone together in the spin-off, because that end scene with Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone, pretty much their scenes in this was pretty much hysterical. Like that airplane scene that featured Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone cracked me up. And of course, the end scene was pretty funny. Of course, Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone are married in real life, so of course they'll have good chemistry on screen as well, All right, now at number 1 will be The Heat, which was also directed by Paul Feig, and it was a buddy cop comedy that teamed up Sandra Bullock with Melissa McCarthy. Funny flick. I mean, the chemistry between Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy worked amazingly well. I really like the direction that Paul Feig took with this movie. I can't say enough. Like, Heat was awesome. I saw it twice when it got released in theaters, and the movie, still holds up. I kind of wish they, gone ahead and do a sequel to Heat. But I mean, if they don't, I guess it'll be fine. And I mean, it had also a good supporting cast. Michael McDonald was in this, Damien Bichir, Marlon Wayans, Michael Rappaport. You got Jane Curtin, Tara Killian. Definitely a really funny flick. I mean, oh, not to mention Biff from Back to the Future is in this, so that's a good tribute for you. Like their captain in this was Biff from Back to the Future. So hey, whenever you see this movie, you'll probably recognize him now. Anyway, but if you still haven't, like, Heat came out 2013. If you still haven't seen the Heat, check it out. It was one of the funniest films I saw in 2013. Well, actually, this The End was probably my number one favorite comedy that year, but this was definitely my top 5 comedies of that year. That's pretty much all my top 10 favorite Melissa McCarthy movies. Let me do the rundown. 10 will be Tammy. 9, Life of the Party. 8, This is 40. 7, St. Vincent. 6, Ghostbusters. 5, The Boss. 4, Identity. 3, Spy. 2, Bridesmaids. And number 1, The Heat. Alright, what's your favorite Melissa McCarthy films? Is there probably one that's not in my top 10 that you actually enjoyed? She also had, like, small roles and other stuff, like The Hangover 3 she was in, Charlie's Angels. I also liked her in this cooking film I saw last year called Cooker. Movie was was shot in 2008 and was released last year. Pretty crazy, right? Anyway, comment what your favorite Melissa McCarthy film is, and are you also a fan of Melissa McCarthy? Do you think she's pretty funny? Like, are you actually not getting tired of her at all? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell for more notification. Comment. Anyway, this is Thomas L. signing off.